Hey, 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 and welcome to...
My name is Terri Messenger, and I am a
and then ultimately where you want to go. So do you want to keep on having that as a run? That's the question.
But here's the problem behind that razor. So I'm living a life there as my conscious world and my subconscious. I'm living a life there. It's Edge Radio Australia, time for the Genius Zone, and we have the genius herself in the room. Yes, I will continue to talk you up. If you're going to have that name, I mean, you're inviting it. You really are.
Okay,
hey,
you win.
You win? Okay. Oh, geez, I didn't know it was that easy for me to have a win. I'm off to go buy a lotto ticket. Hello. We are ready with, as I say, Terri Messenger, the Genius Zone. This is the program where we delve deep and we talk about all sorts of things, really superficial things. How's the weather? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Like we go so deep, we talk about the weather.
Oh, isn't it great though to have an opportunity to sit down with someone? I very much appreciate it, and talk about things that actually matter. Like in life, we just everybody's yeah. How was your day? Yeah, good, thanks. Yeah, no, it's nice to talk about stuff that's a little bit deeper and a little bit more about the human experience.
Do you like small talk, Aaron?
I don't do anything small.
No, I didn't think so.
Yeah, I'm not. It's go big or go home for me. So pretty much.
Agree.
So we'll jump into the show. As I say, I'm curious because I sit here and we do not prepare this. From my point of view, I don't know what's going to happen. So you could.
I don't either.
Perfect. That's why you fit in. But I think. So I'm going to sit here. You're going to unleash something on me that I'm not ready for. I do believe I kind of opened the door last show, but we'll see where we go. Now, before we go any further, though, as people rather jump on board, really appreciate this is interactive. So if you are online, if you're watching, listening anywhere in this big wide world of ours, you can jump on Facebook, on YouTube, all sorts of places, Twitch even.
Wow.
And you can comment or ask questions. Please ask questions. It's always cool.
Absolutely.
Cool. Yeah.
100%.
All right. So we'll get on board with that right now. So let's jump into it. What have you got for me?
Well, I'm so glad you're sitting here because, when we're live, it's almost like you feel like you're talking to yourself.
I do talk to myself quite often. It's the only way I get the answers I want.
So it's really cool to have someone tangible in front. And Aaron, you've got such a massive story. Oh my gosh.
Every time we speak, I realize, hang on, there's a bit more to my story than I thought. It kind of blows me away a little bit. So I'll just get all the little things working here.
It's normal, everybody thinks that, they know everything about themselves that they ought to know. And yet when they get underneath, if they really knew everything at that deeper level, that would be so powerful. They would be so successful. They wouldn't be kind of grappling with the stuff we're talking about here on the show.
So true. And I think as a bloke, I think of myself as when I don't want to deal with something or I finish dealing with it, I put it into a box. Okay. That's kind of my way of being wired, I guess. But I'm starting to think, I'm feeling like I'm living in Visiboard here. Like there just seems to be cardboard boxes everywhere.
I was going to say, was that a visual? Like how many boxes have you got everywhere with all of your, does that mean that you're kind of compartmentalizing?
That's a fancy way of saying putting things in boxes. Yes.
Okay.
So no, but I do. And I'm certainly quite sure I'm not the only one who does that. We all, men and women do things differently, obviously, but also different personalities do things differently. So for me, I was actually having a conversation with someone yesterday, and I was talking about something that happened in my life, as you do, and your normal conversations. And then I went to myself, oh my, I can't believe that was a massive thing. And I put that away.
Wow.
And you think to yourself, that should be like something that life-changing. And you're going to go, okay, you know what? I finished with that. Okay, grab the packing tape, put the old lid on there, and away we go. And
You are NLPing yourself to the hilt.
I blame you entirely.
Oh, thank you. I will take glory for that quite happily.
Please do.
Yeah, so it's interesting because as we speak, we have been on the topic of course, NLP, hypnosis. And last week when you said that, you once upon a time had that kind of love that was really unconditional, limitless. And you mentioned that now or then it became a little bit kind of held back.
Yeah.
Like there was a bit of a barrier.
Oh, I think it was razor wire. I mean, honestly, I just, I'm a guy who loves being in love. Like I live very emotionally. I want passion in my life, right?
Yeah.
And when things happen to you, bad events, all of that, and good old triggering stuff, and I love that word, not. But when these things happen to you, you cope, right? And clearly a way that I've decided at some sort of level, very deep, that I've decided, no, the razor wire goes up and I'm going to love to this level, and you're not allowed to cross. I've kind of I've turned my my heart into Berlin post-war. It's kind of got that, there's two halves.
So what does Berlin post-war mean to you? Because obviously, that's something you've said as a belief system. Let's make sure it's a good one. What does that mean for you?
It means I let people in my life come to a particular point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're not allowed to go any further because that can actually hurt me, right? But on the other side, okay, when I'm on the east side of the of Berlin there, figuratively speaking, what's happening is I'm not letting anyone out, right?
Oh, okay. So you're a little bit possessive?
No.
Territorial?
No. Well, yes and yes.
Okay,
probably
I
a bit
like
of
the way he
yes.
admits it.
Yeah, but absolutely. But no, I mean, like the pain and things that have caused me to be the person I am. So very positive in a lot of ways, that pain. But is kind of a negative because I'm not letting it out. Like it's still there, right? Okay, it's still behind that razor wire. So I'm living my life there in the West, having the prosperous side and then the positive side, I guess, or for want of a better way of explaining it. And I have wonderful relationships. Like honestly, I've got the best people in my life. I'm incredibly lucky.
Yeah.
But geez, I'd like to let go of that darkness. And by putting things in boxes and by putting that wall up, I'm not allowing myself to I'm effectively punishing myself.
And not only are you punishing yourself, but you're also depriving other people, right?
Oh, I don't know.
What about the people on the receiving end? Like they might be going, oh my gosh, Aaron's got so much love to give. But if they knew that you had even more, but you were kind of holding it back.
Yep. Yeah.
And what is the good thing about holding it back? See, that's what you've got to understand. So if you can get on the side of your subconscious mind, because the subconscious is operating in all your past events.
Sure.
So let's just say way back when you had a situation that totally grieved you, right? It hurt you. It caused this wall of Berlin to go up.
Yep.
Right? It is no wonder that it's going, rightio, Aaron, let's make sure you're okay.
Of course.
We're going to put this wall there. And if anyone comes close, we're going to make sure that they can only come this far. And then boom.
But that sucks because okay, as you said it before, I kind of took it the wrong way when you were saying about other people. But I can imagine for people who are in my life who care very much about me that it's a bit rough on them because they don't get the full experience, right? Because at some subconscious level, I've decided, stop there.
Exactly.
So, it's.
And you knowing that, you actually becoming aware of that is what is going to pull that wall down, because it's almost like a negotiation.
Okay.
So the negotiation, I go back to my real estate days because, that's my foundation core. So if I speak a lot of real estate, that's what it is. So you've got to negotiate between the subconscious of where you've been in your past, and then ultimately where you want to go. So do you want to keep on having that wall up?
No,
That's the question.
absolutely no way in the world.
Of course.
But here's the problem, like in my opinion anyway, is that my conscious world and my subconscious, they're not getting along, right? So like
are they like this?
Yeah,
or
man,
are they like this?
they're different suburbs. Like okay, my conscious me, you know what? I want to move forward with life. I want to love to the absolute full extent. I want to live life passionately.
Yeah.
Right. But my subconscious was kind of going, whoa, 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 whoa. What's going on there, mate?
Yes.
You know, hang on, that person can hurt you. And if you give that person that level of access, right?
Yeah.
They can hurt you deeper.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a good reason.
Yeah, I think it's a good
very
reason.
good reason.
Yeah. But it's also a terrible way to hold yourself back. And also, okay, you're holding back the experience that I just speak obviously as myself, that I could be having a far greater life, okay, than I am, because I'm not harnessing the experiences that I could be having. And also the people in my life, they could be having a better experience with me, because exactly that, I'm just giving them. And as I said, on a conscious level, you want to give everything, and you're trying to give everything, but there's still that little guy standing on the shoulder going, no, no.
The monkey, the little monkey, not the shaven monkey.
No, the shaven monkey. He's always on my back.
Okay, he's not on your shoulder, he's on your back.
Oh, dear.
Okay, so here's a classic example for people. So if we put it out there just to give an idea, quite often you'll get people, now it doesn't matter if they're artists in music, in the music world, whether they're business people that want to succeed.
Yeah.
They want success, right?
Yeah.
And especially in the coaching industry, it's like, I want success. I want to really help the people in my niche. And they know that logic says you got to get out there.
Yep.
You got to speak. You got to break through all these, rubbish barriers where you're telling yourself you're hopeless, you're going to fail, you're going to be judged for all of these things.
Yep.
And so they hold themselves back. And then they come up with all these really great excuses procrastination. So I'll do it tomorrow. Oh, not today, and you hear all these things. But when you get underneath it, the subconscious is protecting them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're protecting them maybe from judgment, maybe from, as Napoleon Hill says, the fear of success.
This blows me away, because I've been involved in other radio stations and so forth, obviously in my past. And I'll paraphrase a little bit here, but I had a station I was working with before, where I saw some wonderful, talented people there, and I saw such good opportunity for them to be able to get more and more out of it, and the station to be far more successful than it was. And I remember one of my co-workers saying to me, I said, I can't understand why aren't they working harder? Like, why haven't they got the passion for it? And he said, because some people are happy with mediocrity, and further that, and they're afraid of success. Now,
is this in Australia?
Yeah,
because the motto of the Aussie. Oi,
oi, oi. Yeah,
it is the underdog.
Oh, we are the underdog.
So they fear the tall poppy syndrome, where they don't have that so much in other countries as they do in Aussie.
No, and it almost, and I love this country. Make no mistake about it. There's a flag right there next to you. But it almost tempts me to move countries, because from a personal standpoint, I suffer very badly from the old tall poppies. I get attacked continuously, right?
As you would.
And it's just childish. And it's something, when growing up, I don't know, look, I just thought it was part of Australian culture. You live with it, you go whatever.
Yep.
But when you actually realize the negativity that's involved in it, and the fact that the people who are putting it forward, the tall poppy stuff, they're actually just showing their insecurity. They're actually showing their failure. It's not about you. It is about the fact that you're achieving. Okay. And like, it's about time we got actually to be really proud of our successes.
Yeah.
And I also work on this motto. I would rather try and fail than not try at all. Okay.
Absolutely. It's called failing forward.
Exactly. So do it. Give it a go. Because, okay, if you don't give it a go, you're not ever going to win. Okay, so it's a loss already. Okay,
That's
because
great.
okay, so you've got no chance there. But if you do give a red hot go at it and it doesn't get there, hey, it wasn't for you, timing was wrong, whatever the case may
That's
be.
it.
That's life, right? Okay,
Yes.
maybe later it'll be successful. Who knows? But at least you gave it a go. But the chances are it will be successful if you put your heart and soul into it, if you keep fighting on. So I would love, like, okay, I'll make this a little bit of a mission of mine. I have actually been trying this to try and encourage Aussies to stop with the tall poppy crap, right?
Yeah.
And celebrate each other, right?
Yeah.
For me, I love nothing more than when I look out at somebody who's in my life and they're having a win, right? When they're having, like, that's cool.
It so is. And if you can celebrate that person who's having a win, something very magical happens in the manifestation world, because your subconscious mind goes, he's celebrating, she's celebrating that win. They want it too. Whereas if you mock it, and even in relationships, you would know that it's not an intentional thing, but if one party is rising, the other party might put them down just to keep them here, because they're in fear of losing them, or they're in fear of them being the tall poppy. So I guess what I'm saying in full is that we do what we do because of the fear underlaying of what's going to happen if we go out there and win.
That's right.
And if you go out there and love,
Yep.
if you let your guard down, if you release that, because the subconscious is based purely on your past.
So true.
And that's where all your skill sets come from as well.
And success, like, okay, success isn't about money. It's not about, it could be success in a relationship. It could just be the ability to have a really loving, wonderful, positive relationship, right? It could be, you know, a sport that you play. It could be so many things. It could be, like, I think about, in my true heart, the happiest time I've ever been was when I was a stay-at-home dad looking after my kids. Honestly, best part of my life, right?
Yep.
I felt like I was doing something genuinely good for, well, them. And I was about to say for the world.
Yeah, humanity.
But they were my world, right? So,
you know,
so for that reason, that was truly the happiest time of my life. Now, was it the most financially successful? No. Was it career-wise the most successful? Hell no, because, you know, you have to make a compromise there. But if you can balance them and have, and sort of enjoy those moments, that's success. It's not money related, you know, as I say.
Doesn't have to be.
Doesn't have to
I mean, people don't want to be rich anyway, so they can roll around on the floor in money.
No, that's
you know,
right.
you have a great show happening here with all sorts of people coming in and talking money, Bitcoin. And really, at the end of the day, when we are achieving money, we're achieving not just the fact that we can roll around in it, but it's what we can do with it.
What you can do with it. Now, that's a great point. Now, Derek Whittaker, who does a fantastic show here, of course, The Greater Wealth, that's about life purpose, right? So the name, Greater Wealth. Now, he calls money happy tickets.
Oh, I like that.
And I thought, yeah, okay, mate, that's a bit of a funny one, all right?
Yeah.
But, you know, you work hard for these happy tickets. Now, the money itself, that's immaterial. It's what you can do with it. It's the freedom you can give yourself, the opportunities you can give the people you love, right? If you are more focused on not the physical things that you can purchase or the tangible cash or looking at a number. Look, I used to know someone in my life who, and actually I'll name them. My sister.
Sure?
My sister.
Okay, you're watching.
Yeah. She used to, she used to go and look at her bank balance, and that would be her night out. She loved it. She, like, back in the day, this is a long, long time ago, right? You couldn't just get it on your phone. You had to go down and boom, 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 boom on the machine, okay? And get the little tab that came out. And she used to do that. And I would think, what's wrong with you? Like, honestly, how is that bringing you pleasure, that number? But it did. And I don't get it. I just, and I'll never get that. But hey, if that's your thing, that's your thing.
Yeah.
But I would rather be, if, you know, that number, I don't know what it represented to her, but to me, it represents things that I can achieve, people that I can influence in a positive way, opportunities that I can give myself and the people I care about.
Yeah, well,
So
that's a big why.
Yeah.
And the bigger the why, the easier the how. So, you know, when it comes to, and I was talking about this in a workshop last week, and that is that, you know, if you've got a room full of people, some people are wanting to get to the top in maybe their sport. Others might be wanting to, you know, achieve great success in their wealth or their business or whatever it is. It doesn't matter. And the beauty of it is knowing why you want it. So, you know, if I was to say to you, the love piece where you've experienced that before in your life, why does it make such a big difference to you to be able to have that? And why would you want that right now?
Okay, because I've had a taste of it and it tasted so good, right? Like, okay, to have love of that level where, you know, it's so pure that nothing else matters. Yeah. Okay, once you've had that drug, you want it again, right? There's there's an addiction to it, right? And I mean, I know that the love you have for your partner, your husband, your wife, whatever, is very different to the love you have for your kids. But the purity of love that I learned from my children, okay, I don't want that same love because it's for your children. But I love that same purity, right? And that same level of not having any walls. Right? Because with my kids, no walls, right? Okay. No walls. Awesome. And that's how it should be. Yep. So yeah, that's for me, that's the goal.
And why is that so good? And why is that so important to have?
Oh, I think everybody's why on that one's going to be very different.
Of course. That's why I'm asking you. Because if you look at the situation, so I wouldn't ask you, for example, as a coach, why do you want to knock those walls down? Because that would take us down this huge rabbit hole. Yeah. But rather than that, you would say, what is the reason you want to do that? What is the reason? But why do you want what you want? And so if we look at that, you know what that's meant for you and your kids. Maybe there's that, even though you're saying it's something you experienced, you probably still have it.
Oh, yeah.
And the more you get close to that, the more you get close to manifesting it. So why is so powerful? And then, okay, let's look at the other side. So what does that wall of Berlin feel like?
Spiky and sharp as hell.
Wow.
I mean, it's not a pleasant thing.
So here's the thing, right? If I told you, see, your words, we say magic, your words are your magic. So what comes out of your mouth? And spiky. And so I would say, when have you felt, and you don't have to answer this, of course, when have you felt spiked and like hell? And that's the crux of it, because that's why you said it's spiky. And what was the other thing you said?
Well, I was just thinking about razor wire, quite frankly, you know, like, because it's just so
wire, wow.
Yeah. Like, I don't see it as it's kind of it's a wall I can see through, right? Okay. So I can see the things holding me back. I can see the positives on the other side of it, right? Yeah. But there is a barrier, and sometimes, I'm absolutely 100% aware I'm the bugger who laid the razor wire. I'm the one who put it up.
That's so good. That's so good. You know, but then where has that happened where it's caused you to feel it? Because you've gone through that. And even if it's like, oh, yeah, I know that, for example, not saying this is true, it may have happened at that point when your kids were taken away from you.
Oh, I'll never be the same human being again. I mean, and over the last few days, I've been dealing, and I do this all the time, but in the last few days, I've been contacted by, actually probably the last week and a half, several mums and dads who are going through similar sort of thing. And do you know what? It's the same. You hear the same story. They just changed the names, right? Yeah. And you hear the same players, right? You hear the same corrupt judges, the same corrupt lawyers, right? And they are corrupt, right? It's not like debatable here. Like, if they're breaking the law and they're doing something that's both legally and morally corrupt, it's corruption. Okay. But when I hear these same names come up all the time, and I know that in the legal profession, they are protected by Section 121 of the Family Law Court Act. So the people who are actually the abusers, the actual people who are, look, in my eyes, murderers, okay, are being protected by the very law that they pretend to,
What
be
did they
adhering to.
murder though, Aaron? They murdered that connection between you or them, the people suffering, and their loved ones.
No, yes, 100%. But you know what? They murder 49 fathers every week, so 7 days, so 7 a day. So today 7 men will kill themselves because they're kept from their children, right?
Ooh.
That is
Scary.
the reality of now that's incredibly horrible, but you think about the other side of it, right? Think of all those beautiful kids, and you think about that. Then for the rest of their lives they are broken. They will never get past that. Right now I talk about my razor wire, right, and my limitations of letting go completely. If that had happened to me, especially at an impressionable age, that razor wire's up and it's not coming down. Okay. So you are literally, these people are abusing them. So, they are abusing children. It's very, very real to me.
Yeah. Look, I can see that because I agree. Children need their mum and their dad.
They certainly do.
And if both parents are, good and they love their kids and they're not dangerous for their kids, it's an absolute crime to hold one back.
Absolutely.
And because they're depriving the kids. So I heard you say just a moment ago, because obviously I take notice of these things, that razor wire is not coming down. But that razor wire is also holding you back from what you know is purity and limitless love and everything else. So, if you pictured in your mind a way of actually cutting through that laser wire, and if you knew the reason that you had it in the first place and knew that it was just there to protect you and it was there for a reason, could you see that on your left hand? Could you see it as, how you talk about compartmentalizing boxes, right? Even a box. Could you see that in the left-hand box?
I'd have to say no.
Okay, what if you could put it in the left-hand box?
That would be great.
Yeah.
Look, I'd like to put it in a box and burn that bloody box.
Yeah.
Right? I'd like to get rid of it.
Yeah.
But there is, as I say, a subconscious part of you that's saying, hey, hold on to this because this is the part that's protecting you. Right?
Exactly. And at least you know that. So we often say, well, if you look at that like you're being a lawyer for the spiky wires, for the part that doesn't want to let the wall of Berlin down, right?
Yep.
So you're the lawyer. So you're standing up for it and you're going, I get that. I don't blame you one bit, right? And then this side goes, but hang on a minute. What if I showed you a different way, Aaron? What if what we both want, you've got to find that similarity of what both the love, that limitless love and that limiting love both want. And once you can really get to know that, that's when you can bring it together. And if we were talking about people that want success on one hand and on the other, they're held back by their limiting beliefs. They don't want to fail. They don't want to get judged. They don't want to have all those things. And then they suddenly realize, well, it's just a protection.
Yes, it is. But my kind of comment on that is we live in an overly protected world right now. Okay.
We do, yes.
Okay, everyone's wrapped in cotton wool, right? Okay, and if you're not having uncomfortable conversations, you're not improving as a person. Like this conversation we're having right now.
You must be improving every day.
Well, I'm giving it a red hot go, right? But I want to have uncomfortable conversations because it is the only way I will be 100% honest with myself, right? And the person sitting in front of me, right? So, we can't just go, oh, we'll just talk about the niceties and all of that because I will never, right? I will never be able to cut that wire down if I just sit myself in a nice little bubble and say, oh, protect me, take me to my safe space. No. You are going to get to where you need to be by confronting the things that are holding you back. And the whole world that we live in right now with all of this politically correct bullshit, right? And that is all it is. What it is division is what it is.
Yeah.
Right?
Divide and conquer.
Absolutely, 100%. So, I think that I would like everyone to go out and challenge themselves. Have a conversation with somebody that pushes you.
Are you sure you haven't done this stuff before?
No.
It's like you really get it.
Oh.
You do really, really get it.
I appreciate that.
And at one point, once you can come to that point where you can look at both objectively and kind of stand outside of it. And that's the power. It's knowing when to associate, and it's knowing when to disassociate.
It's quite a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
That very skill.
But you can learn it.
Damn straight.
But, you know, the fact is, you know, you're doing it. You know that you're doing this to protect yourself. But you said something else really important, and that is that you've got to, I'm going to paraphrase it, but you've got to embrace it. You've got to be able to look at it, face it, because a lot of people are just like, no, they're in denial, right? And all as they're doing is this, and they're just spiraling. Whereas if they actually face up to it and go, right, this is my lot, and they get with it almost and feel into it and go, right, this is just rubbish. And this goes for addictions as well, whatever it is, whatever your limiting belief is. And then you suddenly understand, well, this is what I want. And then it's about being able to gazump this part without disrespecting. So gazumping, it means building up this side. So if you could tell me a few things, this is how people quit smoking too. What are the good things about limitless love? Could you name a few things?
You have a freedom with that person.
A freedom, yeah, right? That's one thing.
When you, I mean, I think that's really what it comes down to. And I'm sure I'm not the only one to say this. And I mean, it's almost, it is uncomfortable. I'm just about uncomfortable conversation, but it is uncomfortable to have this conversation from the point of view of like
being on national radio.
Just a small thing.
Global radio.
Yeah. But it's okay. Like in my particular situation, like I was in a relationship with somebody for a very long time, that I found out after the relationship ended. Now, the entire thing, the whole time, we had this thing where we were 100% honest with each other. I would tell her everything, deep, dark secrets, whatever the case may be, everything, right? And she would tell me the same in return. Now, I found out after a number of years, after the end of the relationship, that every single thing that she had told me over that period, everything, bar none, was a lie.
Really?
Nothing. Not like, honestly. Yeah. Like,
it's just bizarre.
Yeah.
But she was just making it up.
She was just complete. Every part of her life was false. Right. So
that's crazy.
Yeah. And what happens is that, you know, with that particular person, obviously, to have that level of trust with them, that, you know, you go 100% in, right, and then some. So after that, you kind of think to yourself, right, do you ever go 100% with anyone ever again?
Because it's like a betrayal, isn't it?
Really? Well, it's exactly what it is. It's a betrayal.
So it's you know, you're losing your faith. And yet, you know what? I know earlier in the game when I first done this stuff, it's really important to understand what the heck could be going on in their world for them to do that. So
I've looked at that, absolutely. But where I want to go, if I just may add something to that. Okay. Now, I've just said that. The reality is, in that situation, if you party company with that person and you kind of go, whoa, okay, well, kind of dodged a bullet, off I go, you know, off I go into life. Now, that would be fine. So, like, I certainly don't, it's really weird, actually, because I really want her to have a good life. It's stupid, but I really mean that, because if she has a good life, then, you know, the people that I love who are around her will have a good life, right?
That's that's excellent.
That's just how it should be. But if my children weren't involved, right, then you just move on. You know what? You'd have another relationship. Look, you know, and I'm very lucky. I'm in a wonderful relationship, so you know I've won the lottery there. But you know, when people use other people and use children particularly, like that's something that's very, very much part of my DNA is I hate, and I'll make that noise on purpose. Hate. It's a bit of venom in there.
It's passion, though.
Okay,
Aaron. And that's the opposite to love, actually.
There we go. Well, it is injustice, right? I really have a passionate hate for injustice. Yeah. So when I see people being hurt, or people being used for somebody's pursuit of whether it be money or power or just because they're a sociopath, whatever the case may be, that upsets me, because it's not about them. It's actually about the damage that they've created to the people that I care about.
But see, if they were your greatest teachers, because that's what they say, right?
Yeah.
You know, all these challenges, like take all that away, who would you be? I want to ask you though, having had that experience, what has it created for you?
Opportunity. Big time.
Yeah.
Because it's taught me that everybody has the right to be heard. Everybody has the right to have their voice matter.
Yeah.
And that,
you know, that's my passion as well.
Got to be, hey.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we're all wired differently, but I think that, I really mean that from the bottom of my heart. And I think that, you got to look at everything as this is a lesson in life, right? And those negative experiences, without them, look, I would probably be, and I'll be honest with myself, if I hadn't had the adversity that I've had to go through, and you know, there's been a fair whack, then
I'll agree with that.
I would be a pretty selfish, superficial person.
Okay. You probably wouldn't have the strength and the conviction that you have. And what would you be talking about on this show? Like every day that you're on here.
This show wouldn't exist. This station wouldn't exist, right? It wouldn't exist.
Did you just hear that? You found out the passion behind Malloy's vision. That's huge. So this is what I mean. It's like the school of training. No one ever went into the army without getting trained and having to go through the heat, you know. So that's been your heat. And you know, when you can get to the point where you actually can look at that person who's been the perpetrator and say thank you, because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have this, this, and this. And that's when things start to turn around as well. Yeah.
I agree. I agree. I had somebody who did the wrong thing by me big time in life, and we didn't speak for a number of years. And I just decided one day, I thought, oh, wow, like a bit of very good knowledge was given to me. And they said, this person said to me, another person said, why are you letting them live rent-free in your head? They're out there, they're enjoying their nice lifestyle, going to carry on, right? They're not thinking about you.
How much were they paying you?
Not enough.
Wow.
But no, that's what they said. And I'm never going to get my deposit back. Forget about that bond. But I think that's that situation, when that was brought to my attention, right? I kind of mulled that over for a while. Yeah. And then I went to that person and told them that I basically want to move forward and I want to leave that past behind and restart that relationship, right?
It's restart it as in like just renew it?
Yeah.
Wow, that is something else. I mean, this is what I mean. Like, where did you get all this stuff from? I mean, I had to go and pay thousands of dollars to learn this.
What you do is you start your own radio station, right? And then you get lots of experts coming to me on the show. I
was going to say.
You get your own therapy. It's fantastic.
Yes. Well, that's what Napoleon Hill did, right? He was interviewing people all the time from when he was a teenager and he became so learned. So, I love what you just said because, you know, renting space in someone's head. Because really, when you are holding on to something and hating on someone, you're giving them so much power.
That you are.
Did you know, right? This is what I've heard.
Right.
You work it out whether it's true or not. When you have that person in your grip, it becomes like a soul contract, apparently.
Right.
And what happens is when you release that, and Dr. John Demartini talks about this. He's got a whole breakthrough experience on it. And when you let it go and you can honestly say, I forgive that person, so they're not renting in your head anymore, what happens is you gain your power back. This is the part that I'd like you to work out and see what you think. That's when retribution can come from the universe rather than from you, because while you're holding on to it, right, the universe says, hey, you got it, you got this, Aaron. But the moment you let it go, you're setting yourself free. And that's part of my persuasion when I'm really wanting someone to let go of a bitterness or a hatred. I say, well, you know, no one ever drunk poison and expected the other person to get poison from it. So what if you could just like let them go and release them, not for their sake. No one's saying that they should be let off the hook, because quite often there's a lot of wrongs done, but it's about you letting yourself off the hook.
From a honest personal standpoint, that person that I let off the hook, who I forgave and moved on and just, okay, that did so much for me personally. It's not funny. That took so much weight off my shoulders. It's not funny. And another,
as demonstrated.
Yeah, bloody oath. And I think to myself, the other person that, you know, has done, you know, great harm to my life in so many different ways, I haven't had the opportunity to go and see them and have that conversation. And I can't ever see that happening for many other reasons, right?
Yeah.
But like I said to you, I actually don't wish them any ill. I think it's a waste of my time. Like, you know, they don't live in my head. They don't have any rental agreement. They're not even squatting. Okay, not even squatting.
Squatters.
No.
Yep.
They're literally, you know, a part of my past. No problem at all. They've got, you know, and then, but chucked them in a box.
Yep.
Taped it up.
And
thrown it in the back of the cupboard. And
amazing.
Yeah, you know, it would be. So it does make me kind of smile, because I think how many people, I don't know, they think they've still got ownership over you because they do that sort of thing. But like, if you just let it go, you know, I tell you what, you know, all of a sudden I feel like I should be starting to sing, you know, let it go, let it go. You know?
No, I think we'll keep you on as the radio announcer.
Oh, thank God. Okay. I'm not frozen just yet.
Mind you, I haven't heard him sing. Maybe next show.
Yeah, look, if I get drunk enough. But I on this show, why not, right?
Yeah,
no. There's always there's a copy of American Pie in everybody. Okay, you can sing American. Have enough beers, you can sing American Pie. Okay, so I'll give that a go.
You know what? I can remember being about 7 years old and just being in the back patio, sleeping with my cousins and listening to that Bye Bye Miss America, and just laying there thinking this will be the day that I die. Like, whoa.
Yeah, it's a bit heavy when you're a kid.
And I just remembered, you just gave me a flashback.
There you go.
And I can't sing either, so there you go. I'll stick to my daytime job. You stick to yours.
We shall do that. Okay, when it comes to the music, we'll play it through this thing. What do you think? Through the old computer.
Agree, 100%. Yes.
We're coming to the end of the show. Is there anything that you would like to, any great little droplets of wisdom that you would like to share?
Well, it's more about what we're talking about here, and that is that, you know, if you can really put down on a piece of paper, like Dr. John Demartini teaches, and look at all the things that would be good if you could let go of whatever's holding you back, and then look at the other side and actually put down on the list everything that is good about holding you back. So what would be good about letting go? What would be good about holding back? And then forecast your future. So have a look. Like, I remember being taught by an older man who was really spiritual, one of these men that lived up in the caves in the mountains. But he talked about running 2 timelines. And what you did is you played it out. You went and visited at the end of each timeline, and he called it a decision-making timeline. So this is the way life will go if you stay the way you are, and you kind of go out there and you feel into it. But this is, you come back and you go, this is how it would be if you took the other path. And it's kind of allowing the person to make their own decision as well. And a very good decision, because they're projecting and having that ability to experience.
Do you know where you took me right then? Back to the Future. One of the best movies ever.
Like Michael J.
I did. I idolized him growing up. I did. Yeah. Look, hey, well, it's not there at the moment. We've got the time machine here in the studio as well. But honestly, with the timeline, and you think about that movie and the different timelines they ran through, the 3 movies in that, perhaps just look at the way that sort of fits with your world and your life. You never know, right?
True.
And on that bombshell, we will end the show. Thank you very much for being part of it. Thank you for everyone online. I've noticed on all the little different places it's going. It's been great because people have been popping in and out all over the place, it is great to see. If you want to hear this show again, you can hear the audio of this. Well, you will organise a video as well, but you can hear the audio on Sunday at what time?
3 p.m.
3 p.m. Look at that. It is
Edge Radio.
That's right, edgeradioaustralia.com. If you've got an Android device and you're not part of the Apple cult, we have got an Android app for you. I'm just teasing. Grab that. Of course, you can get that from the edgeradioaustralia.com page, or you can go to your Play Store and grab that as well. That is it. Have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon. And look, we look forward to seeing and hearing from you next time. And as I say, get your questions in during the week, or for that matter, online, however you want to do it. We love it. It's a Genius Zone. It's, of course, Terri Messenger's team, Genius Zone here on Edge Radio Australia. So I'm living
and then ultimately where do you want to go? So do you want to keep on having that wall up? That's the question.
Absolutely no way in the world. But here's the problem. So I'm living my life my conscious will and my subconscious. I'm living my life